On October 9, 2025, the soccer world was rocked by a single notification. FIFA had called an emergency press conference. The announcement was seismic. FIFA President Gianni Infantino revealed the United States would lose its primary hosting rights for the 2026 World Cup. The tournament, set to be the largest ever, was moving north to Canada. Shock and disbelief swept the US, which had spent years preparing, only to see its dream evaporate overnight. The U.S. Soccer Federation scrambled for answers as the nation's unity with Canada and Mexico fractured. Meanwhile, Canada erupted in celebration, suddenly thrust from junior partner to sole host. Prime Minister Trudeau's office expressed pride and readiness, and the Canadian Soccer Association stepped into the global spotlight. For FIFA, this was a massive gamble. Walking away from the U.S. market meant the issues were fundamental, not minor. Infantino cited insurmountable logistical and legal challenges, and the need to guarantee safety and accessibility for all fans. The vague explanation only fueled speculation. What went so wrong in America, and why was Canada now the savior of the World Cup? The world watched, waited, and wondered. The US faced a stunning public failure. Canada faced a monumental, historic opportunity. FIFA's decision sent shockwaves through every corner of the soccer world. The stage was set for a tournament unlike any before. The question on everyone's mind: how did it come to this? The answer would reveal deep cracks in North American soccer unity, and it would change the future of the sport on the continent forever. The countdown to a Canadian World Cup had begun. The 2026 World Cup journey began with a message of collaboration. In 2017, the US, Canada, and Mexico announced a joint bid, an unprecedented show of unity. The United 2026 bid was a political and sporting statement, promising a continent-wide celebration. The US was set to host 60 of 80 matches, with Canada and Mexico hosting 10 each. Morocco was the only rival, but the North American bid's infrastructure and revenue projections were unmatched. FIFA's evaluation scored the United bid far above Morocco's. In 2018, the United bid won decisively at the FIFA Congress. The plan seemed straightforward. The US would provide the muscle, Canada and Mexico would support. But as preparations began, cracks appeared. The US Soccer Federation dominated major decisions, sidelining its partners. Host city selection was driven by US commercial interests. Canadian and Mexican officials felt marginalized. The partnership, once a model of unity, became increasingly American-led. Minor frictions hinted at deeper issues. The promise of equal partnership faded. Tensions simmered beneath the surface. The seeds of future problems were sown. The dream of North American unity was already under strain. The stage was set for a dramatic unraveling. The first major crack in the US plan appeared in early 2024: stadium compliance. FIFA's strict requirements clashed with NFL stadiums not built for soccer, especially field width. Proposed fixes, like removing seats, sparked disputes with stadium owners and fans. Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys publicly criticized the costly modifications. Delays and uncertainty mounted as other cities echoed concerns. FIFA inspectors grew wary. The US infrastructure wasn't as ready as promised. Legal and administrative hurdles followed. US government guarantees on tax exemptions and visas became politically complicated. Congressional pushback on FIFA's tax breaks created a legal gray area. FIFA, demanding total control, saw this as a breach of the hosting agreement. The relationship soured. Organizational blunders piled up. Host city selections were delayed. Some cities dropped without explanation. In mid-2025, the U.S. Organizing Committee's CEO resigned, citing irreconcilable differences. Leadership chaos ensued. With a year to go, the U.S. lacked clear direction. The project was behind schedule, over budget, and mired in conflict. The cracks became a full-blown collapse. The U.S. bid, once invincible, was now in crisis. FIFA's confidence was shaken. The World Cup's future in America was in jeopardy. Logistical headaches were bad, but security was the deal-breaker. In 2025, the U.S. introduced the Secure Fan Initiative, requiring extensive biometric screening for all international ticket holders. Privacy advocates condemned it as unprecedented surveillance. FIFA was alarmed. The World Cup is meant to be open and welcoming. The new policy threatened to deter hundreds of thousands of fans. A global poll showed 65% of international fans were less likely to attend. FIFA's leadership urgently negotiated with the US government, proposing less intrusive alternatives. The US refused, citing non-negotiable security concerns. The two sides reached an impasse. For FIFA, open access for fans was non-negotiable. The US wouldn't compromise. With time running out, FIFA's Executive Council met in emergency session. The security standoff made the US position untenable. A drastic decision was inevitable. The World Cup could not proceed under these conditions. FIFA had to act to protect the tournament's spirit. The US was out. The search for a new host began. The world braced for a historic shift. As the US bid unraveled, Canada stood out for its stability. Toronto and Vancouver's preparations were on track, with government support and streamlined visa processes. FIFA inspectors found Canada's plans detailed and compliant. The Canadian government promised an open, accessible tournament. Behind the scenes, Canada drafted a contingency plan to host more matches. 4 additional cities, Montreal, Edmonton, Calgary, Ottawa, were identified as ready to step up. Canada's proactive approach impressed FIFA. When the US was dropped, Canada was ready. The decision to shift the tournament north was radical, but logical. Canada's quiet competence made it the new host of the world's greatest sporting event. The US bid boasted massive NFL stadiums and vast infrastructure, but these were built for football, not soccer. Narrow fields and sprawling distances between cities created logistical headaches. Canada's plan, though smaller, was more adaptable. 6 host cities, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Edmonton, Calgary, Ottawa, offered true soccer stadiums needing only upgrades. The compact geography reduced travel time for teams and fans by 30%. FIFA valued player welfare and fan experience over sheer size. Canada's venues were fit for purpose, fan-friendly, and aligned with FIFA's vision. The US tried to force NFL stadiums into soccer mode. Canada's plan already fit. Technical superiority plus political and security factors made the choice clear. Canada's bid was smarter, not just bigger. FIFA's decision was sealed. The US lost billions in projected economic impact overnight. Cities left with sunk costs, sponsors scrambled, and stock prices dipped. For Canada, the economic outlook flipped. An estimated $7 to $10 billion boost and 50,000 new jobs. Host cities braced for a tourism and investment surge. Beyond economics, the cultural impact was profound. The US faced a blow to its soccer ambitions and reputation. Canada, long overshadowed, seized a nation-building moment. The World Cup would ignite soccer's growth across the country. A new generation of Canadians would grow up with the world's game in their backyard. The balance of soccer power in North America shifted. Canada embraced its new identity as a soccer nation. The world's reaction was mixed: shock, praise, and criticism. European and South American media applauded FIFA for prioritizing fans over profit. "The World Cup belongs to the fans," echoed around the globe. But some saw the move as political. Unfairly punishing the US-Mexico, the jilted partner, expressed disappointment and demanded answers. In the US, outrage dominated. Fans and soccer personalities called it a betrayal. The US Soccer Federation vowed to challenge the decision, but options were limited. In Canada, celebrations erupted. Media, players, and fans united in pride. Alphonso Davies called it a dream come true. The decision validated Canada's approach and elevated its global standing. The soccer world was forever changed. The stunning transfer of the 2026 World Cup was the result of cascading failures in the US bid. Logistical and leadership crises, capped by an insurmountable security conflict, forced FIFA's hand. Canada, prepared and proactive, stepped up with a credible, expanded plan. The move rewarded competence and penalized dysfunction. The consequences will echo for years: economic loss and reputational damage for the US, a nation-defining opportunity for Canada. Soccer's North American hierarchy has shifted. The decision raises a critical question: how will global sports balance host nation demands with core event values? For FIFA, The world in World Cup is non-negotiable. The beautiful game in North America has been changed forever. The future of soccer on the continent and beyond will never be the same.